Cool. Apparently I'm live. We'll see in the video later. Hey everyone, I'm just going to randomly start another live show. It's Saturday night. I'm bored. I'm going to take a break from filming and editing and all that stuff and do me a live show. Yeah. So let's see if I can find my own live show because I don't know how to get to my own live show. Is it under Video Manager? Dashboard? My YouTube channel? We'll find out together. I'm just going to slowly figure out how to use my channel. Maybe it takes a second to appear. It's not appearing yet. I don't even know if people are logged on. Interesting stuff. I might try this out again. See if it. Won't show. Live show J. That's me. Interesting. So apparently it is showing. Oh, maybe it's that. There we go. So now I got to turn off that sound because otherwise I'll hear myself and that'd be crazy. So let's see if anybody appears. If anybody appears in the chat, I'm just doing this randomly. And by the way, people, I respect that t-shirts available at miniwargamerj.spreadshirt.com. Yep. Things are good. I'm just going to start a live show and see if anybody appears. Heck, maybe I'll put it on Facebook or something. Oh, Connor Strife is up. Hey, Connor, how's it going? Mr. Con S, Connor Strife. We're in the live show. Yeah. Wonder how I sound. Let me see. Let me see how I sound. Yeah, sounds good. I like it so far. A little dark, but it's hard to tell. Yeah. So far, we have 2 people watching. Wonder. One of them's me, though. So one's Con. Con. Oh, and there's Von Iron Fist. Hi, Von Iron Fist. And Spence. Woot woot, random live show. Spencer Cohen. How's it going? Yeah, I'm just doing a random live show. I'm just bored. It's Saturday night. I'm feeling a little bit better. I've had a rough last couple weeks of pain. I had a root canal yesterday, day before. 2 days ago, I had a root canal. 2 days ago? Yesterday. Sometime in the last couple of days, I've had a root canal. Jack Bieber. And yeah, I've decided I'm going to do a live show, talk to y'all, have a good time. It's probably only be maybe till like 10:15. Probably about an hour's worth because I just have a couple more things I need to take care of tonight. I'm doing a little bit more editing on this week's How to Play 40K. It's definitely going to be up. I promise. I'm working so hard on it. And I still got to film my Q&J for the week. I just realized that. That's okay. Con! This is Con S. It's quite the cool leg. Just to explain to you guys the leg that I'm dealing with, I'm going to type the words leg test into the computer, and you're going to see the difference between the amount of time it appears. Here we go. Ready? I'm typing in leg test and go. So I just typed in leg test. Now you're going to see when that appears, and that's the leg between when I say something and when you hear that thing. Science. Yeah, it's going to be a bit. So, what's new with everyone? Today, I had a battle report. I filmed a battle report with an awesome battle report opponent named Dave. He's been in a lot of my battle reports. Dave from Bridge North / North Ridge. And we decided to do a fun experiment game where one of us played Raven. We both wanted to try out the new Dark Angels. So one of us played Ravenwing, and the other one played not Ravenwing, Dark Angels. I'm not ruining the battle report or anything, but we found that one of them is significantly better than the other. Significantly. Yeah. Long leg. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Long leg Von Iron Fist. That's the thing. It's almost a minute. I don't understand why, but it's okay. You know, by the time like I started, you'll see the first minute of this video is just me going, "Is it on?" And then eventually it appeared like, "Hey, Jay's live." You know, Jay is live. In fact, I'm going to throw this to my YouTube channel. I'll put this on my Facebook. Hey, everyone. I am trying a live show tonight for the next 45 minutes. Join me if you wish. Let me put the link in the description. There we go. Let's see if that joins anybody. There we go. 2 plus Jink is awesome. Yes, it is. Trying a live show. I'm typing right now. That's cool when I'm looking. Ew, I look fat. This camera adds a few pounds. Maybe I should get back on my diet. Deathwing has been benched for the most part. I agree, Spencer Cohen. I'm not ruining it. It'll be up. It'll be in the free content in probably 4 weeks because I'm actually been filming a bunch of battle reports. I have the entire month of August filled with battle reports for you all. So there's going to be one for free every week and one for in the warp. And yeah, one is better than the other. That's all I'm saying. And you'll see it. And you'll know based on the length of the battle report. It's true. Dark Shroud with 3 land speeders formation is crazy. I agree. Even my favorite formation, which I don't have the models for, and I wouldn't bring it because I'm not a power gamer in my battle reports, but the Land Raider with 3 Vindicators is so nasty. You stick the Land Raider up front, it absorbs all the damage, and then 3 Vindicators just drop bombs of awesomeness on your opponent. So, yeah. Yeah, Valen Iron Fist. I don't. We addressed that in the intro of our battle report that it's really odd that you take up to 3 HQs in the Ravenwing Strike Force, but only one of them can actually be taken. Now, I'm guessing it's because GW made a mistake, and they're going to fix that hopefully eventually, stating that if you give, I'm guessing it's something like if you give a model a bike, it gives the model the Ravenwing special rule. Like if you give a model Terminator armor in the Codex, it gives them the Deathwing special rule. It'll probably be something quick like that. So that we can take a Librarian or an Interrogator Chaplain or a Chaplain on a bike. It'd be good stuff. Tori Ling says, "Hi, Jay. Another live show. Excellent. How are you today?" I'm pretty good, Tori Ling. I'm still on antibiotics. Oops, I just knocked over my pills. Oh, well. So, yeah, things are good. The swelling in my face has gone down significantly. I had a really bad tooth issue right there. And I needed a root canal, and I had a giant infection. It basically, the moral of the story is that if you have dental coverage, get things done. The reason why I didn't get a root canal for a long time was that until recently, my dental coverage did not cover root canals. So the $1,100 Canadian that it would cost to get a root canal was uncovered. And I just, because I wasn't in a lot of pain, I just said, screw it. I don't have $1,100. That's like so many less models that I can afford if I bought those things. You know? Yeah. Swag. This is Zach the Dragon. I respect that. Just a sec. Just gotta get knocked over. Yeah. So. Also, I realized I'm wearing like the worst shirt for my background right now. It's like, can you tell where J ends and the screen begins? I once actually used the green screen once, forgetting that I had a shirt of this color on, and it was kind of funny because you just saw the word like "I respect that" glowing around, you know, floating around the table. You know. Yeah. Spencer Cohen says, "At my friendly local gaming store, we house ruled the exact same thing." I agree. That makes sense, and it's perfectly consistent with the other parts of the Codex. Perfect sense. You know, if you give a model a bike, it gives them the Ravenwing special rule because only the Ravenwing would have motorcycles. Yeah, I think I'm talking about my shirt right now. Let's see. This is fun, hearing myself talk. You know those people who, there's like you don't honestly know what you sound like because you don't hear your voice perfectly. And there's those people always like, well, you don't know what you sound like. And I'm always like, I do know what I sound like because I have to listen to myself a lot. With the other parts of the codex. So J-ception. Because only the Raven would have motorcycles. I think I'm talking about my shirt right now. Let's see. You know those people who there's like I'm losing viewers. But Iron Fist says, yep, green screen. Where's the effects? I don't know. I don't know how to interpret the effects. I'm new to this. I'm new to this part. I got an itchy nose. Ha ha. Yeah. 10 viewers now. 7 viewers. What happened? Are people leaving? Apparently I angered someone. Yeah, let's see. LOL. Boom. Haha. Zach the Dragon. Yeah, apparently someone left already. So it's not for everyone, the live shows. It's okay. Yeah, I wish that I don't do any painting inside the house anymore. It's all in my workshop. So I don't have anything like I can work on while I'm talking to you guys and you can show you my work and kind of stuff that I'm working on. Maybe I should start doing that. Like bring a model in, just show you what I'm working on. Maybe this week's painting tutorial or something. But yeah, these live shows are cool. Oh, I'm back up to 11. So we'll see how many I get up to. As I said, I'm probably going to go to about 10, 15. Yeah. Have you ever LED up your models? No. No, I'm not Tory I've always wanted to. One day I'll try. I would love to do it with like my ideal one would be a Stompa. I'd really like to LED up a Stompa. It'd be cool. I've seen a lot of really good, well done ones. What kind of airbrush do you recommend? Badger Patriot 105. It's my favorite. Badger is the airbrush of choice for me, the company. Nothing against Iwata, but I prefer Badger. And if you're going to start new with miniatures, I'd recommend the 105, Patriot 105. It's the best general starter airbrush that they have. All the other ones that apply to miniatures, like the Chrome or the Velocity, the Sotar 2020, they're all really fine detail. So you can use them as well on miniatures as well. They're great. But I typically use, like for base coating and most gradients, terrain, vehicles, I'm pretty much solely using my Patriot 105. And it's a great starter airbrush. Greg Markman says, how did the grot tanks turn out? Very well. Thank you very much. I got to get 4 more. When I was at Gen Con, I tried to buy them, but they didn't have any in stock. So I'm going to order some more eventually when I save up the funds. Right now, the problem is I live in Canada, and the Canadian dollar is at like an all-time low against the American dollar and against the British pound. So it hurts buying anything from outside the country. Definitely. But yeah, I got to get 4 more. That way I have 18, and I can run my full 18 list of hilarity. But they turned out really well. I've used them in some battle reports. I've definitely used them in some battle reports. I don't know if they ended up for free in the Warp. Whenever I use orcs again, they'll be in the list because I love the grot tanks so much. Unfortunately, I'm going to a tournament in a couple months, and unfortunately, the tournament person told me today that I can't use my grot tanks, not because Forge World is not allowed, but because there's no current book available for the orcs. They've discontinued it a while ago, and they haven't replaced it yet with a second edition, like they did with the Amphibian project for Tyranids. So, oops. If If you were at the art museum, what painting would you want to live in for a day? Tori Ling says. Good question. Sorry, I'm just typing in to make sure that people are seeing it on my Facebook page. I'd probably choose a Van Gogh because they're trippy. They are fun. I see. They're fun paintings. I'd pick a Van Gogh. Now, which Van Gogh? Starry Night. I think that's Van Gogh. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it's Van Gogh. Starry Night. Because it's beautiful. It's a nice, cool artwork. Yeah, it's still alive. Rough. Where did you pick them up from? Forge World. Yes. Yes, I got one as a gift, and I ordered the other ones directly from Forge World. And then I had 3 of them actually customly made for me as a gift from Cody Rue, one of my viewers, and just an awesome guy. It was his birthday, so the other day. So happy birthday, Cody Rue. The same day, it was Cody Rue, Austin from Brush for Hire, and my new friend Caleb from the WGC Painters group. So I had a lot of birthday wishes to send out. Yeah, they look pretty hilarious. Yeah, they're fun. Same in Australia. Our dollar is very weak at the moment. I know, Connor. I can relate. Right now, the Canadian dollar is worth, like when I went to Indianapolis, the Canadian dollar is worth 75 cents American. And British pounds to Canadian dollar right now is like 2.05. So everything times 2 for prices. It's crazy. Like, yeah, it's crazy. But of course, while I was at Gen Con, here's a fun story for you all. It's not very long. I was at Gen Con, and I was talking to Forge World people. By the way, the Forge World, I never mentioned this in my video. One of the Forge World guys actually knew who I was and had watched one of my battle reports with the grot tanks, and he thought it was awesome. But the Forge World people were talking about cost, and I mentioned, like, I don't have the kind of money to spend on. They were trying to sell me a gargantuan Squiggoth. And they mentioned to me that the guy in front of me who walked away with a few boxes, he had actually just purchased one of the Warlord Titans. And apparently they sold 2 Warlord Titans in the first 30 minutes that they were open at the exhibition hall. And each one is about $2,250 American or 2,500 Canadian, 1,250 British pounds. So people brought money. Cody Rue, OG. Yeah, people know Cody Rue. He's awesome. Where am I right now? Yep, there you go. Any suggestions for a good Astra Militarum APOC game? We have 2,500 point limit. Giant, obviously tanks. You go all tanks. Like, have a great time. Bring a whole bunch of tank formations. Exactly which ones? Depends on your meta, honestly. I would expect. Are you bringing? Question though. I would definitely recommend. Obviously, the Baneblades are what I'd instantly jump to. Baneblades or Shadow Swords. If you want the transport one, you can go that. What's that one? The sorry, I forgot the name of the giant transport one. But my 2 favorites are Baneblades just by themselves. Take a bunch of sponsons, you're in great shape. Shadow Swords are really fun as well. Stormlord. I think the Stormlord is the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, but I definitely recommend 1 or 2 Baneblades because they're great. They kick butt and they're very survivable. And in APOC games, like for me, what I love about APOC games are the bringing of the large models, the models that you don't and can't fit in a normal size game. Nids and Necrons. Yeah, Baneblades. Yeah. Do I have my Astra Militarum Codex with me? Nope, that's Space Marines. Darn. Oh, see, yeah, the new Space Marines. Sorry, but Baneblades, for sure. And then whatever kind, I'd say tanks. As many tanks as you can fill the board with. That's the fun part of Apocalypse. Just have a great time, bring tons of big models, blow away your opponent. And Pask. I like Commander Pask with his squadron of tanks. his Land Raider, not Land Raider, Leman Russ. Pask with his Leman Russ tanks in the formation is just hilarious. Pask is my favorite character for the Astra Militarum. He's awesome. Some Skyfire for the Nids? Yes. Just in case. Depends on what your opponent brings, but if they're a competitive player, they're going to bring flyers. Or flying monster creatures, I mean. Definitely bring some Skyfire. So, some, you know, what are they called? Tavern. Sorry, it's late here. I'm just losing my mind for a second. Severn. You know which one I'm talking about. The Skyfire one with all the missiles. What is your thought about the Inquisition Martyr video game that they are making? I think it looks cool. It's the one I'm thinking of. Also, apparently, is this the same game? I could be wrong. But I saw a game recently where you get to control I also saw another game where you get to control Imperial Knight. That'd be a lot of fun as well. Any of these games, you know what? I've played several of the Warhammer 40K based games, and I know they're not. Several of them aren't top level games, but I've had a great time playing every one of them, honestly. So I'm looking forward to them. I love it when they can expand the universe and put you in the like. I love playing Space Marine the game. Obviously, Dawn of War is my favorite because it's a lot of fun. Or like all the Dawn of Wars, you know. No name leaders in our game. Oh, so no Pask. Leman Russ squadrons. Howdy, Jake. Howdy, MK Mailer. What are the most competitive builds for Tyranids these days? Flyrants. Everything flying is the big, like, basically, people are fitting in as many Flyrants into a list as you can. If they allow Forge World, people take the Dimacaron. If not, ignore that. For elites, there's a lot of debate. People love seeing the Melanthrope, because it's awesome. It acts like a Venom Thrope, but it's much better from Forge World. It's way more survivable and gives the same bubble of awesomeness, stealth around it. For troops, most competitive lists involve Min troops. It's just standard. Min troops, max scariness. 3 Molochs in a list kind of thing. 3 Molochs and Flyrants, and yeah. You need something for armor piercing, which is the biggest problem Tyranids face. So then the debate is for the elite section, it would be either Hive Guard or Zoanthropes in a pod. Because you drop a squad of 5 Zoanthropes, if you get the psychic power off, they will destroy pretty much any vehicle at turn. I have multiples of almost every model except for the new flyers, and I'm at a loss of what to bring anymore. Yeah, that's basically it. Fast attack is pretty ignored for Tyranids. People really like taking those spores for troops because they're the cheapest possible option. So you take those as min troops and then just spam stuff. Oh, let me see. Next one, Jack Beaver. What do you think about the rumors that 40K will get an Age of Sigmar in 2 years? First of all, I've heard rumors that it gets Age of Sigmar next year. I've also heard rumors that in 2 years. I don't think that will happen. I think Games Workshop, I think they figured out that they have a good thing in 7th edition. 7th edition, in my opinion, is much better than 6th. I love Maelstrom of War. I love the cards. I love the rules that they put in. Like they've fine-tuned the rules I found for 7th that were ambiguous in 6th. I don't know. If they do it, I'm going to be sad because I think Games Workshop is aware at the level of anger that the fantasy players have towards Age of Sigmar. And I don't think they do it to us. Thing is, fantasy was always dying at a much faster rate as of the last few years than 40K. So I don't know. I don't think it'll happen. Personally, I hope it doesn't happen. Skyblight formation is pretty sweet. I agree. Tyrannofex plus Melanthrope is powerful. I agree. The Melanthrope is hilarious because, as I said, it's like two two Venomthropes put together, but as a 3-up armor save. And it's just more survivable. You know, better everything. And for basically the cost of two Venom Thropes. And Synapse. You have Synapse. But that's the thing. If you're running min troops, you don't necessarily have to worry as much about Synapse, especially if you have like 3 Flyrans on the table and Molochs, which constantly just jump up and down, you know. So, are you going to Adepticon next year? Yes, I am. I've already got my hotel room, and I volunteered last year. So I'm hoping that I hope I wrote my email address down correctly. Otherwise, I'm going to contact them. I hope to sign up a week early because I was a volunteer. So yes, I love Adepticon. It is awesome. It's I think it's March 30th next year, and yeah, that's my intention. I have no intention of not going. If something comes up, obviously, out of my control, but I want to go. I got the hiccups all of a sudden. What is the latest movie you saw in theaters? Ted 2. There have been a lot of movies this summer I've wanted to see that I haven't gotten the chance to. Jurassic World. I wanted to see Fantastic Four, but apparently everyone hates it. I wanted to see Pixels. Yeah, Ted 2. I think was the last movie I saw in theaters. It was funny. Not as good as Ted 1. And would you recommend it to others? If you like Ted 1, you'll like Ted 2. I was asking other questions than our hobbies. Yeah, that's cool. Ask me anything, Tori Ling. There's obviously some things I'm not going to talk about, but you guys know that. I've been potting a Tyrannofex, which has been fun. It is fun if you take the Flamer template. Hey, Jay. Yeah, Jay. Zach the Dragon says, yeah, Jay, what is your opinion about Sigmar? I've heard of people raging about it and others applauding it. It personally has made me want to start fantasy. Models look amazing. I love the look of the models, both sides that they've done, the Sigmarian army or whatever they're called, and the Chaos army, amazing models. The game itself, I don't honestly know. What I've read, the silly rules kind of deter the serious players, but I don't know. See, I've never really been a fantasy player, and I feel weird talking about it because it's a really uneducated opinion. But I think they made some improvements. Model-wise, look great. And I think they've made it easier to play significantly, which might get new people into it. But any hardcore fantasy player seems to be very angry. If you've watched any of the Gaming with the Cooler or Owen's videos, Owen/Gaming with the Cooler, he hates it. Like, he rages against. Apparently, it's very easy to break because of the lack of points or something. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and Zach Derrick just said, a friend of mine believes that the older players wanted to keep the way it was. They would have gotten more into End Times. Yeah, apparently End Times was fantastic. A lot of people believe that End Times brought the game back in so many ways and love these new giant guys that came in and the new scenarios and the new storylines. And then all of a sudden, the End Times happened. And then Age of Sigmar. So apparently people really, really liked End Times. Daniel Nielsen says, what is your take on Dark Angel's veterans taking grav guns and then upgrade him to an apothecary? Does he get invalid target of the upgrade? Yes. I would argue yes, because an apothecary can't have a gun. They have the Narthesium instead. So he can't have a grav gun. Unfortunately not. That'd be awesome, but he can't. Tori Ling says, to anyone doing armies on Paradise this year, October 24th. I'm not. No. Anyone doing... Oh, sorry. Yeah. Anyone doing armies this year. I'm going to thumbs up my video, by the way. I'm doing that right now. Thumbs up. I liked this video. It was fun. And right now I'm having so much fun painting and building my armies up. I still got to work on my Necrons again. I've got to work back on my Dark Angels again. And right now I'm working heavily on my Imperial Fists. I want to get that army really I want to get like 2,000 to 3,000 points good and painted. And then maybe go back to my Dark Angels, get the Raven Wing painted up, and then more things like maybe a Dreadnought, a Drop Pod. And then that's the thing about Age of Sigmar. At the moment I don't have any intention of starting it because I want to play with painted models and I don't have the time, unfortunately. Do you have favorite terrain pieces that you enjoy seeing on the battlefield? My favorite type is ruins. I really like ruins because they look great, and ruins are cool. And for 40K, they're the perfect, they give the board the feeling. And plus, the 4-up cover save provides a lot of strategic depth to the game. The ability to go into cover, go to ground for 3-up, it really does give you a lot of options. So as a terrain piece, I love having ruins and the feel. Though to be fair, GW just put up a new terrain piece the other day for Age of Sigmar, and it's quite nice. I really like it, this winding staircase thing looking. It looks pretty cool. Zach the Dragon says, what is your opinion of decent... Yeah, I stopped myself. I know what you're talking. D. Yeah. I know it was in the news today. The big thing in the news today I saw was, for those who don't know, I'm not saying any specific word or anything, but they released a teaser poster for the latest Mockingjay. And they unintentionally, you have to look hard to find it, but somebody found kind of an inappropriate word, you could say, in the middle of the poster. Look it up. See if you can find the word. And then pull the poster and apologize publicly because of it. It happens. People get upset about it. Who is excited for Star Wars? I am. I am stupidly excited for Star Wars. I really hope they do it right, and I think they will. They have a great director behind it this time, and I think it's going to really work out because I think that the possibility of storyline for the next 3 is going to be great because they can do anything they want. The problems with the first 3 was they had to cross these paths, these checkpoints for the story to happen, and then they hired Aiden Christensen. Strike 2. Jar Jar Binks, strike 3. So providing there's no Jar Jar Binks character, good. Otaris209 says, hi Jake. Hi Otaris. If you were to take 2 Dread Knights in one army, how would you upgrade them? Each of them. Both of them, I do play with double Dread Knight frequently. Same exact thing. Exact same way. I would give them personal teleporter, heavy side cannon, sword, and incinerator. That's how I run my Dread Knights, both of them. And it's always good to have double of the same because it removes target priority from your opponent and gives them a decision about which one should I fire at. If you have different weapons, usually your opponent will just go after the one that's more scary and leave the other one. But if you have 2 identical ones, they can't do that. And what a lot of the time happens is they'll try to take them out at the same time, and then they'll have 1 or 2 wounds left, and then they're dangerous. They just go crazy and kill stuff. Ever field a Sisters of Battle army? No. I've played against them multiple times, many times, but I've never fielded one. I always liked them. If they had plastic miniatures, I play the army. But they don't. No. I love the idea of an army-wide 6-up invulnerable save. The old hymns and what was they called? Acts of Faith, I think they were called. Faith points. It was really cool, the old system. New system is more streamlined, but I like the old one. Zoran says, do you think they will give Astra Militarum infantry more survivability with the supposed codex come out next year? No. It's not. The thing is about Astra Militarum, they're like orcs, right? They're them and orcs and Tyranids. They're a horde army. And they're not going to get survivability. They're not known for armor. They're known for their tanks and for their awesomeness and running 100 infantry models at your opponent. You know, or in giant blobs of guys with cool heavy weapons teams and vets. And the feel of Astra Militarum is not armor. It is, they probably have like some, maybe, you know, some guys who might have armor, but it's not the feel of the army. They shouldn't have armor or good armor. I mean, you know, I don't think that, because then they'd be equivalent to Space Marines and there'd be no point in their awesomeness. Double X Nightwing 8 says, are you getting a model ready for the Crystal Brush at Adepticon? If so, what are you painting and why? All right. There's 2 models that I really want to do for Adepticon for next year. I would love to do a chibi model. Now, for those of you who don't know chibi is a scale. The large head, large eyes, small body models. The cute ones. Chibi literally is a Japanese word meaning little person. I would love to do a chibi model for next year. And I'm thinking of doing a model from Scale 75's Smog Riders because they're beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful chibi models. Now, if my dream model would be a Primarch from Forge World because they're beautiful models with beautiful bases, and I can spend a lot of time painting and not a lot of time building. My dream model out of all of them would be Guilliman. Guilliman is probably the most beautifully sculpted model. The most interesting model out of all of them to me would be either Ferrus Manus or Vulcan. Yeah. But yes, I would like to. I would really like to. I'm going to start them soon because I would love to actually paint a model and do the entire process, maybe vlog it, maybe just do my painting with J's. There are a lot of rules, though, so past a certain point, I can't show it to you anymore. But, yeah. Nacho 101. Nacho! Jar Jar's grandson. Orderly thoughts is Jar bitch. Oh, where am I right now? Let's just, I'm catching up with myself and seeing where I am. Because I would love to actually paint a model. There we go. I know where I am. Wow, that's a lot of points. Ever try Mordheim? No. I've heard good things. I know Owen's really enjoying it right now. And Ash. I really should. What is your favorite loud sound? My favorite loud sound? Probably the sound in a hockey game when a goal happens. I like the goal sound. That, or when I'm watching a soccer match, the announcer, when a goal happens and they yell, "Go!" Yeah, I love that too. Thank you very much, Tori Ling, for the question. 000 says, what about making infantry squads cost less monetarily? That will happen. No. It's expensive to buy just one troop. Money-wise, no. I can see them making them cheaper points-wise for the game, so you can take more. That could happen, but cheaper, no, will never happen. GW, unfortunately, because you know I love GW, will only get more expensive with time. They're never going to drop their costs. I don't see that happening. Only more expensive every year, annually, more and more expensive. And I'm hoping they don't like butcher and make a 5-man squad even more expensive. Yeah. The new Perturabo model was pretty amazing. I'm not really into Iron Warriors, though. Yes, I agree with you. It's an awesome model too. I just really like the look of Gilliman. Or Gilliman. I don't know. How do you pronounce it? Hi, everybody. Hi, Girl Painting. Welcome to the live show. I'm surprised you're still awake. It's got to be like 3 in the morning your time if you're still in Germany. But thank you for joining the show. Samuel Mackey says hello. Hello, Samuel Mackey as well. I gotta stop touching my face. That's cool. I would love to paint a Primarch, but I need to learn more techniques before then. I'm painting a Wrath of Khorne Bloodthirster for it, but I don't know if it's acceptable for turn-in. I don't know. I gotta learn the rules. I was about to enter, and this is no word of a lie, I couldn't finish it in time. I was gonna enter a Garden Gnome into the painting competition at Gen Con just to see how they'd react to me. And I had several people willing to pay for me to enter, but I couldn't finish my Garden Gnome in time, unfortunately. It was going to be amazing. It was going to be a great Garden Gnome. But then the question is, what category does the Garden Gnome fit in? Large? I don't know. Wow, Girl Painting just says it's 4 a.m., to be honest. What are you doing awake? Night Owl. I understand. Makes sense. Well, welcome to the show, Girl Painting. Now, Girl Painting, for those of you who don't know, now I'm guessing all of you know exactly who Girl Painting is. Girl Painting is one of my favorite painter YouTubers for miniatures, bar none. Her videos are just awesome to paint along with and to see how she does things. There's very little swapping. Like, you basically see like the entire painting process when she does it, and it's really cool stuff. When I started painting models, she was one of the first YouTubers I subscribed to for miniature painting. So she's awesome. Girl Painting. Mm-hmm. And she once did a live show with Dave where they did movie quotes and made Dave really blush. It was hilarious. The new 20 quid Centurion is sweet too. Yes, it is a limited edition. I could be wrong. The new Centurion model they're doing, it's a 3-month limited edition or something like that because of the launch of their new website. Looks pretty cool too. Yeah, that, or I was really thinking it'd be a fun challenge to paint some of the Imperial Fist characters that are part of the 30K series, the Horse Heritage series, because yellow is a really challenging color. And I find that if you can do yellow well, which I'm not perfect with yellow, but if you can do a really good job with yellow, it really does impress painters, I find. Have you ever thought about writing a book about painting or gaming as a hobbyist? Yes. But I find videos to be much more informative and fun. I'm not a big of a reader. Nothing against reading, but I should have been tested for dyslexia a long time ago. But when I was a kid, it didn't really exist. And I've never been a good reader in my entire life. You know, even when I was doing my graduate studies, I couldn't read. Reading is harder. So I'm more of a math guy than a reader. I'm new to Warhammer. Have any recommendations for an army? Yes, I would recommend the Stormguard Eternals because they're the Storm, either the box set models, because you know that they're going to get a rule book relatively soon, and they'll have a decent art rule set. To me, the Stormcast Eternals are beautiful, and they're a beautiful model. They look amazing. And you probably get them for cheap if you split the box set with several people, with other people who want to play Khorne. Samuel Mackey says, poor Garden Gnome. I know. I may have inspired a category, though, for the Draconic Awards. We'll see about that one. It just turned midday for me. Wow. I guess you'd be in Australia then. Are you in Australia, New Zealand area, I guess? Because you got to be roughly 14 hours ahead of me. It's 10 p.m. here. Girl Painting. Stormcast Eternals, they are easy to paint. Completely agree with you. And then she also says, thank you. You're welcome. Mm-hmm. You're welcome. It's very easy to give credit where it's due. And Girl Painting and Awesome Paint Job were the two channels that they're 1 and 2. I don't remember which order, but they were like 1 and 2. The third channel I subscribed to, I think, was Tyranaholic. But yeah, I found that, and plus, Girl Painting is also one of the few channels that uses dips, and I like using dips for some miniatures as well. And her, like, the simple things, like she has, I remember one tutorial you did with the Tyranids using dips, doing the simple color scheme. It's really great. I love using dips. Is there a recording of that stream somewhere? No. Unfortunately. I should make a video on it. But the thing is, to me, on the how to paint, my miniature painting 101 series is my series of painting. You know, there's so many aspects of painting that I think miniature painting 101 will eventually cover as many as I can. You know, and then how to play the games. I'm trying to work on my 40K series. Y'all go on? All right. Talking to people over there. Yeah.
People, we say hi.
They say hi. Hi, people. They say. When you're finished painting your Imperial Fists, do you plan to use many heavy bolters? No. Not. No. I should. I'm going to put some heavy bolters on the Speeder. I'm going to put heavy bolters on... I have heavy bolters on the Land Raider. But for my... what? Oh, sorry. They're interrupting. For my Devastators, I like las cannons. They have, you know, las cannons with armor, not armor bane. They have tank hunter. They're awesome. So most of my heavy guys, if I do, I'm thinking of putting a few heavy bolters in, but not a lot. I really should because they're Imperial Fists, and because of bolter drill. But I find that most of my auxiliary things might have them, but not my base troops. Maybe as a heavy weapon add-on. Do you think points cost will ever come to AOS, even as an option like Inquisitor? Yes, I really do. I think my guess is GW isn't playing us. It's that they are starting somewhere, and then they're going to slowly transition it in another direction to balance the game and to keep the old fantasy players happy. It is seeming like they... Rubik, come in here. Thank you. Sorry, my dog's wandering around, and he gets up to mischief. That is Rubik. For those who don't know, he is a Frisian pointer from Holland. And yeah, I think GW is. I think they're going to make some short-term changes. And you know, Age of Sigmar, the starter set is the jumping point, and then eventually they're going to build back to points because they have to. They have to. I think otherwise the game will just end up in this limbo. Samuel Mackey says, "Yep, in Sydney." Oh, that's very cool. Creepy Blue Eyes says, "Ooh, Darwin here. Excellent." Richard Gunn, hi. Hi, Richard Gunn. Greg Markman, have you done a dip video? Yes. One of the miniature painting 101s is specifically dedicated to dips and how to use them. So finally, my cat cleared the keyboard, and I can answer properly. No problem. Cats do that. I know what you mean, girl painting, because that's the best thing about cats. I love cats. I have 2 dogs, a cat, and 3 horses. And my cat's my favorite animal in this house because she is just so much sassitude. And whenever you don't want her to do something, she does it. And whenever you want her to do something, she never does it. So, and my dogs are awesome too. Horses, Girl Paint says, "I really like your Codex review videos." Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Girl Paint. And by the way, to your question, why I'm awake in the middle of the night? Well, I suffer from insomnia. That sucks. Very sorry to hear that. I can relate though. I've had bouts with insomnia before. And then years ago, I was in a really bad car accident, and my back was really screwed up. And that was probably the worst time I've ever had trying to sleep, because for those of you who have had back issues, no matter how you sleep, it hurts. You know, and back and neck issues. It really hurts. I've dealt with things like that before, unfortunately. But I'm sorry to hear that. But it's very nice for you to join the live show. In the future, I might have live shows more during the day in my time, so it would be more appropriate for people in Europe. And yeah. That's not good. No, it isn't good, Samuel McKay. I get that. I just love the heavy bolter models. Yeah, they're awesome. I love the new Devastator models that they came out with. The new Devastator model kit is great. Thumbs up from Jay. I love it. Yeah, love it. Plus, it has the heavy grav cannons. Any hopes of the return of Battlefleet Gothic? Maybe. You never know. You know, the thing is, in nerdy culture as of late, there have been a lot of cases of things developing cult followings. And eventually there might, you never know, you know, in so many cultures, it's happened a lot with board games lately, where old board games are coming back because they've developed a cult following. So never say never. Samuel McKay says, what is dip? A dip is a product. The dips that I typically use are from Army Painter. But what a dip is, it's like an enamel coating that has a tint to it. So it's like applying a shade to an entire model at the same time, but it also acts as a varnish, and it's very glossy. And typically, there are like the ones from Army Painter that come in 3 different colors: light brown, dark brown, and black. And you basically dip the model into it, remove the excess, and it dries. And what it does is it fills in all the gaps and gives a shading to the entire model at the same time. So it's a great time saver if you want to apply a uniform shade to the entire model. So a lot of times people will apply a base color to each area and then hit it with a shade or the dip. And which also, what it does is you end up then, typically you'd end up varnishing over the dip. So you're essentially double varnishing your models, and it really does protect your models. But they're cool. But they're only for, I recommend for saving time. If you want to paint a lot of models quickly, dips are the way to go. If you're painting to a high level, you wouldn't require a dip. There's a cool new game coming out for PC, Battlefleet Gothic Armada. Cool. Excellent suggestion, Robo Lennon. Girl painting, sorry to that. It happens. Wasn't my fault. Years ago, I was in the, I'm not going into much more detail, but I was basically in the middle car of a 3-car collision. I just went, you know, it was pretty brutal. But it's okay. I'm better now. Chiropractor. I also suffer from insomnia today. I've only had 3 hours of sleep as of late. That sucks, Tory Lane. Very sorry to hear that as well. It seems to be happening more and more often, I find, with people. Maybe it's our generation. Where was I? Zurin. I saw that. Hoping you use my old models again sometime, although. Excellent, yeah. Do you watch Geek and Sundry? Sometimes. It was really cool. Like, I was honestly, when I met Will Wheaton last year at Gen Con, and I was honestly so starstruck. And I also got invited to an event of his through the WGC and their associates, the, what are they called? I forgot they're called. WGC has some associates that are linked to Geek and Sundry. They know the same people. And I met Will Wheaton. I said hi to him, and that's all I could say. I was a little starstruck, honestly. I saw him again at Gen Con this year, but he was like swarmed by a bunch of people, so I didn't want to bug him. So, but yeah, him and Felicia Day, great job, especially bringing board games to a whole new demographic. Excuse me. Finesse Manning. Morning, Jay. How would you improve Terminators? Better in Vol Save. A 4-up invulnerable save would really help, because these days, every army has a real easy answer for Terminators. Number 2, like Deathwing shouldn't have to be in reserve turn 1. They should have they should have access to more survivable things, because for their points cost these days, everyone is able to penetrate 2-up armor. So better invulnerable save, number 1. Better shooting. Maybe make them ballistic skill 5. You gotta make something, and it's either you gotta make them better defensive or offensive. So I do a little bit of both. Ballistic skill 5 wouldn't break them, because most Terminators have either Storm Bolters or Thunderhammer Storm Shields. Weapon skill 5, for sure. Especially how not necessarily pointless weapon skill is, but how, I think it would make them better, because they're designed for close combat, and they're going initiative 1. So weapon skill, ballistic skill 5, or maybe a 4-up invulnerable save. But I find that, like right now, whenever I'm playing Deathwing or Terminators in general, your opponent typically has an answer for them, because they're not that, or you just DACA them. You just bolter fire them, and eventually, if your opponent rolls enough 2-ups, or no, sorry, fails enough 2-ups, they lose a lot of points. And like the most recent battle report that I did in the Warp, it was against Tau, and you see how poorly I failed in armor saves. I failed 8 out of 17 2-up armor saves, and I lost a lot of points. Yeah, but thank you very much for your question, Finn's Manny. Whoa, I've got to catch up now. Where am I? So Jay, this is from Destro. So Jay, in your opinion, do you feel that there is such thing as a miniature with too much detail? Or is there an army in 40K where the vast majority of them would fall into an over-detailed state? No. For army-wise, I wouldn't. Most armies are very well painted in 40K. In War Machine, you have that problem. In War Machine, one of my problems with painting War Machine is that, in Hordes, is that those models are really detailed, and a lot of them are worth like a point. If you're playing a 35-point game or a 50-point game, this model is worth a point or half a point, and they have so much detail. So much detail. But in 40K, I find that the troops in almost every army are very easy to paint. Space Marines, Dark Eldar, Eldar, really easy to paint with their smooth armor. Orcs, not very detailed boys. The one I'd probably say wouldn't be detail, but the amount of time you could spend on a cheap model for points cost would be Astra Militarum. Because if you're doing camo patterns, you can spend an amazingly high amount of time painting an Astra Militarum trooper, And plus they have skin, so you have to do all the flesh tones, and it's a cheap model for points cost. So that's what I say. But I wouldn't say that. Is there such thing as having a model with too much detail? Yes. For 40K, there are some models that I find too much detail, like the Warp Head, the Weird Boy for Orcs. It's a very, very busy model, and I find that a couple things just didn't necessarily be needed. A couple of details I found. The forgeable models are beautifully detailed, and they're very detailed, but you wouldn't buy a forgeable model unless you were willing to paint it, very detailed. So, yeah. Thank you very much for your question. Girl painting. Well, I started a live stream on Twitch today. I was finally successful to build a setup that works. Excellent. I should check it out sometime. Oh, I was working earlier. That's why. I should definitely check it out sometime. I heard good things about Twitch. But I'm just doing this on YouTube right now because it keeps going with my YouTube videos. My previous Google plus painting streams were a bit rough in the video quality. No problem. I can relate. Greg Markman, you wouldn't use a wash when you dip. No, you wouldn't. A dip is a time saver that essentially, as I said, it's like applying a wash to the entire model at the same time. After this live show, feel free to go check out my Miniature Painting 101 on dips. I find out the number for you. Or a lot of girl paintings videos involve dips, but I don't know if they're implicitly mentioned in the title. But she'll show you. It shows what dips are used for. Miniature Painting 101. Dips. Yes, part 40. Miniature Painting 101, Part 40. I'm going to just take this for a second here and put that in the comments. And that's a link. I don't know if it worked. Maybe it didn't work. But I thought I put it in the comment section. I'll try again later if it doesn't work. Richard Gunn. I sent my point system, only effective if you... Isn't any point system only effective if you interact with the community? Isn't it best to give the players the honest balancing games that you don't plan to test them? Yes. The thing is, and it's a little scary, on previous codices, GW has admitted to doing very little play testing. It has happened in the past. But yeah, they should listen. That's the thing about Privateer Press. They're very in tune with their audience. And GW, I don't find, is as in tune as they could be these days. Yeah. New diagnosis, Netflix introduced insomnia. Induced insomnia. Yep, I know. Power watching shows. Girl painting. No, you straight paint all the prime colors in the mini. Using bright colors works best. Yeah, exactly, because the dip will darken everything. Then you dip it in a quick shade, and what it does is shades the mini as well. Exactly. Downside of dipping is that the coat is quite thick, and it's really hard to go beyond the dipping and improving the paint job. Exactly. That's why I don't recommend it for high levels. But then the only thing I do usually after a dip is then hit it with a finished varnish of the finish you want. So typically I like a satin finish. So then I'd hit the model with a satin varnish afterwards, carefully. And it really does like take away all the shine. Because these quick shades are very shiny, very, very shiny. I have a lot of Chaos Cultists that I have to paint very quickly, as much detail as I can. They're going in with Black Legion. Any tips? Tips, as we've been discussing. Cultists, base colors and dips, if you have tons of them, yeah, it could really help. Black Legion, yeah. Obviously, the best idea is, unfortunately, the best idea is either you batch, you obviously have to batch paint, but dips are a potential way of saving time, as we discussed. If you're going to a light standard, if you're going to just a tabletop standard, a dip on Cultist is awesome. I'd go the medium dark, like the brown shade, depending on your color scheme. But yeah. What I would do is I did this for Dave actually. I painted some of his using dips. You just do a light, you do the mid-tone or the light of every color. Just one color per area and then dip it. We're gonna at Zurin, Tuzgrin airbrush. Airbrush for base cuts for sure. But what you'll find with cultists is an airbrush will only help a bit. For the majority base color, it will save you a lot of time. But cultists are very detailed. They might be another one of the detailed models that they're very detailed models. And most of them have a lot of different colors that you want to use, like pants, belt, skin color, hat, masks. So you can use an airbrush for your base color, for the majority color of the model, and then you just paint from there. But this isn't like a Space Marine where you can where you go like a quick Zenithal approach or a vehicle, Robin Lonan says, loving the stream. Thank you very much. Just for these, let you know, I've just told off camera, I have to call it quits in about 5 minutes at 10:30 because it's been a while. It's been about an hour and 15 minutes. So I got to call it at 10:30 my time. Yes, I have to, unfortunately. Time to do other things, unfortunately. I'd rather just stay here and talk, but I can't do that. Loving the stream. Your kind nature comes out in all your videos. Even if I'm having a crummy day, Painting with Jay manages to cheer me up. Thank you very much. I didn't want to sound too depressing, my most recent one. Yeah, it hurt. But don't have one. Yeah. How did you get into Warhammer in the first place, everyone? Mackie, long live Jay. Thank you very much, John Bender. I got into 40K when I was, I think teens, second edition. My friend Sean loved Space Marines, wanted to show me his game. I love the look of orcs, and I played. I quit during third, just after Necrons came out. And then I got back into it very, very late fourth. I took some time, did, high school stuff, and came back, as a lot of people do. Have you ever been tempted to play Kill Team? I've played it before. It's quite fun. And do you battle reports with Kill Team as they're shorter and require less models? Yes. They just don't get very many views. I've done Kill Team battle reports for Miniwargaming, as well as there's Kill Team, and then there is, what's the other one? Combat Patrol. I've done both of them with Miniwargaming. They just don't get as many views, but they don't take very many time as well. Have you ever been tempted? Yes. Did that? Skitarii are pretty detailed. Yeah, I agree. What would you say for cultists being painted as war boys from the movie Mad Max? That's amazing. Fits perfectly. Great idea. Lately, I've seen a couple things with cultists for Mad Max ideas, and a lot of Mad Max ideas ending up for orc armies. People doing custom vehicles in the style of Mad Max models. But great idea. I think I will have some ice cream. Question: what is everyone's favorite flavor of ice cream? Mint chocolate chip. Yes, for me. Or it's called Moose Tracks. It's like mini peanut butter cups with vanilla ice cream. I think it's called Moose Tracks. Yeah. I'm Canadian. Everything's moose or something, Though the closest moose is only like 2 hours away. Mint chocolate chip as well. Jack Beaver, funny, I'm painting my Astra Militarum gunner right now. Exactly. You know what I'm going through. Yeah. The Omnicide demand details. Exactly. LOL says toothy grin. Just finished my Tech Priest Dominus. Took 8 hours. Nice. I bet it looks awesome. 8 hours of a model. It's going to look awesome on the tabletop. I have to say, guard take forever. There are so many. I run mech, and painting all the guardsmen is taking weeks because the number of miniatures, I feel quantity can be an enemy. Exactly. That's what I was thinking too. Because it's not necessarily detail, but it's the amount of color schemes. Like if you want to do flesh nicely, it takes usually a few colors to do flesh. Human flesh is by far, in my opinion, the hardest thing to paint because human flesh is something that we can easily look at and judge the realisticness of. Orc skin can be any color. It can be this green. It could be this green. It could be any green, and it's orc skin. Human skin, if you pick Caucasian, African Canadian, or African American, African descent, or Asian, it's very easy to look at a miniature and judge the quality of its skin tones. Yep. Greg Markman says, thank you. I must have missed that one. Your videos that helped me start painting my Tyranids. Excellent. Thank you very much. Richard Gunn, got it. Girl painting. I do 2 videos on quick shade dips. I wouldn't call that a lot, but it's a little. It is in the title. Excellent. Oh yeah, maybe not a lot, but I've definitely seen them in yours. In fact, yours was the very first one I saw a dip used. Was the Tyranid High Fleet Leviathan? Was it Leviathan? No, one of the High Fleets. I'll check those out too, girl painting. I've got a bunch of termagants and gene sealers. Yeah, I think she used a termagant or a hormagant in the model, in a model tutorial. How do you feel about proxies, like Mantis game minis or Puppet Wars? I love them. I have no reservations about using proxies, especially if you're playing like Guard. You can bring in so many amazing models. I've seen a couple armies that are pure female Guard because they bring in like the baddest girls in the galaxy, kind of models. They're not called that. Baddest girl, yeah, whatever. But yeah, awesome for proxying. What? Greenleaf Terrain. Adam, unfortunately, the show ends in a minute. But thank you very much for joining, Mr. Adam. You missed a spot. And unfortunately, by the time it's there, yeah, like I'm ending at 10:30. When looking at Infinity, I was wondering if you painted some, and how hard would you say they are to paint? They're harder than 40K for sure. They're closer to true scale. Adam here knows Behemoth. Thank you very much for correcting me on that girl painting. But Infinity, true scale miniatures. The older models are hard to keep together because they're all metal and they break very easily. The new ones are great, but they're definitely more detailed and smaller details than 40K or War Machine or Hordes. The only thing I'd say would be harder than Infinity as a newer painter would be Malifaux. Malifaux models are they're tiny little things, and they're true scale as opposed to heroic scale like Space Marines, and they're so tiny. But Infinity, it's not. I would never deter you. It's a great game, but definitely more detail than a 40K model, and it will take you a lot longer per model. But that being said, Infinity, a good game would only have 10 models, you know, so you can spend a lot more time on a model and get away with it. Any recommendations for building a low model count cheap Tyranid army? Yes. For your troops, bring Min Spore Pod, like the spores. Right? The competitive lists right now are actually not that expensive, other than you have to spend a lot of money on the monstrous creatures. That's where a lot of the money is. But what I really love is now that like the packs of 3 for Zoanthropes or Venomthropes saves you money. High Flyrant, if you bring a Flyrant, they take up a lot of points and they're amazing. Molochs are great models. They're monster creatures. They take up a lot of points, so they're great. The expense, the real expense comes in the small guys, the Gaunts, the Hormagaunts. They're really expensive. So if you want to be cheap, avoid the Horde aspect and go monster creature more. What do you think of the Gen Con minis from Kingdom Death? They looked awesome. In fact, I liked it. I got it, waiting for it. In fact, I actually, there was a girl there beside me named Elizabeth, and she just sat there for a day while I was painting the gnome. She was painting the Kingdom Death model, the Gen Con exclusive one. And it's really nice. Beautiful model. Thanks for the nice stream. No problem. I'm going to be calling it in a second. Oh, hey, just saw you were live. Yep, sorry, Matthew. Nope, I'm actually ending it in like a minute. 10:31. Yeah, I know. I got to end the show. I can hear the things. Barbed Hero Drill. Good. So I should call it now. I'm sorry to those people who are just tuning in, like Adam, you missed a spot, and Matthew and all them. I promise I will be doing another live show very soon in the near future. I think this is going to be a weekly thing, changing the times, making it randomly. But thank you so much, everyone out there, for tuning in and watching this live show, being a part of it, leaving comments. It's so amazing, once again, to be able to do this again and have a great interaction with you all. That's what I missed so much about the live shows, was just being able to interact with you all. And it's been really cool. And special thanks to Girl Painting, tuning in at like 4 in the morning her time. Now it's 4:30. So everyone go check out Girl Painting's channel. She has tons of painting tutorials. And her painting tutorials are the most easily relaxed paced tutorials on miniature painting. So they're so great to paint along with and to see how she does things. So definitely shout out to her. And yeah, so thank you all you people for tuning in. And I'm moving my hands a lot. Till next time, this is Jay saying happy painting and see you next live show.